Alright. Pop. Don't do any cussing.
Barricade things of having illegal meetings. All this overtime for all this and that.
Yeah. So we going I mean,
You're right. Yeah.
Well, that's what it is. Extension cord. When we get the extension cord, we can move that speaker closer.
How you doing?
Wonderful. How's everybody? Well, we talked to her?
Yeah, she said she got to pull up. We don't have to water.
My underdress, what's up?
Right. Uh-huh. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
All right, I saw you later.
Okay.
Calm down, brother.
Because she ordered a whole bunch of them. I'm not going to do my little medallion. She ordered a whole bunch of them.
You don't want that. You don't want that. You don't want that. You don't want nobody to see you have shame. The second.
Y'all know what tomorrow is, right?
Yeah.
Your birthday.
My sister's birthday ain't yours.
Your birthday.
I know my sister's is too, because you guys' birthday the same day. Yeah. Her birthday is tomorrow as well. So we know it's your birthday. Where you going? She'll be 40. She'll be 45. I didn't even put no lipstick on. Let me go run and put some lipstick on since we got cameras on. It's like this. Like this.
Oh, yeah. You got all the
Hey, ladies. You okay?
Yeah, I can do this to show up. Mic check, mic check. I can do your mic check. I can do head job too.
What is it? What it is? Oh, of course. Of course. She said, can they talk to citizens? Can they talk to citizens of Excuse me. No, you can't. I forgot.
Mic check. Can't hear it.
No, come on. I'm just kidding. Oh, yeah, I'm playing.
Mic check. Hello.
No.
All right. Allison, whenever you're ready.
Where's she at?
Let me make sure my alarm clock is on. I just see this is all her stuff. Did she go to her car?
Someone's up there. I was thinking in my mind.
She went to her car. Right. She said, can she talk to her sisters? I said, yeah, you gotta go over. I forgot. Go to No, I'm messing with you.
Oh, okay.
No, you can't. Like that.
Oh, there she goes. All right, where's everybody sitting down? I just need that agenda. All right.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Sorry we're a little delayed, but I am Clerk Key for the Village of Dolton, and in the absence of the mayor, I will be hosting this meeting tonight. And tonight, I want to appoint our leading trustee. Okay, I would like to ask for a motion to ask for a mayor pro temp.
I make a motion to have trustee.
I make a motion to have trustee Jason House as mayor pro temp.
I second the motion.
Okay, very good. So I will now do the roll call. Trustee Steve.
Present.
Trustee Norwood.
Present.
Trustee Belcher.
Present here.
Trustee Holmes. Absent. Trustee Brown.
Present.
And Trustee House.
Present.
We have a quorum, and I will just back up for a second. This meeting began at 6:06 p.m.
Okay, we did the roll call, so thanks everybody for coming this evening. To housekeeping items, I don't want to say housekeeping, but we will start with our Pledge of Allegiance. No, would be to the flag, so I will ask that we face in the direction of the building. Oh, we have a flag over here? All right, so I ask everybody facing the direction of the flag. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we'll take a moment just to have a moment of prayer. So, Heavenly Father, we just thank you for this day. We thank you for covering us in all situations and in our community. We ask that you embrace us even closer on this day so that we can continue to do the work of the Village of Dolton and that this be a successful meeting. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
So I see everybody take a seat. I feel like I lost a hot potato. Okay, so just a few points of clarity that I want to make around this, because there may be some contesting of the way that the meeting was called or handled. So we want to make sure that we note this meeting was called by request of 5 trustees. So I made the request on Tuesday afternoon between 12 and 1 p.m. and it was also approved by the 4 other trustees. Just for confirmation, I'll ask each trustee if they made the approval before 6 p.m. on Tuesday. Trustee Norwood?
I did. I approved it. I approved it.
I approve it.
So it was called by 5 trustees. The meeting notice, which is no longer on the door, has been posted between about 5:50. It was videotaped and a photo was taken as well, and it was posted by trustees Belcher and trustee Norwood. So just for confirmation, am I stating this accurately?
Yes, Trustee Belcher and I.
Yes, both of us posted the meeting agenda.
Okay, just having that, so we want to make sure we have that on the record. We have one item for discussion, and that item being the discussion and possible action of approval of ordinance number 21-009, the hiring of legislative counsel. I would ask that I get a motion to approve legislative counsel, which is present with us. The document was included with your packet that Clerk Key sent out. And Attorney Mike McGrath is here present with us at this time, which is the legislative counsel that we seek to approve. I would ask that a motion be made that we approve ordinance number 21-009.
Motion.
I second.
Okay, hearing the motion and the second, I will ask, do we have any discussion from the Board of Trustees?
In reference to us being here this evening, I think, and I don't want to speak for everyone, but we all collectively have realized that we need to do what's in the best interest of the Village of Dolton and move things forward, but move them forward in the right way. And so with that being said, there has been some concerns about legal counsel that we currently have as the village attorney, and we can't get things answered properly, or there are some ordinances that are currently in effect that are being neglected or not being adhered to, and we need to seek counsel on for the best interest of the trustees. That's why we're right here today.
I'm going to pass on Trustee Steve.
Yeah, we got it?
Yeah.
I just wanted to mention that, there was some discussion with a few residents about the cost of it. But we have in the budget set aside a cost for legal costs. So there's money in the budget for this. So there's legal costs. It's not assigned to any specific law firm, but there's money in the budget for this. So there's not even concern about budget constraints. We've actually looked over this, and we actually got that covered. So just to make people aware of that. So to make people aware that if you have that concern, we definitely took that in consideration before we did this, before we made this decision.
Okay, thank you for that, Trustee Steve. I'll piggyback some on Trustee Steve's comments. Within the budget, we have $400,000 allocated to legal funds. That legal funds covers all services within the Village of Dolton's legal, and as trustees, we are entitled to speak with an attorney. we can speak with the attorney that we already have on staff, or if we feel more comfortable, we can retain our own attorney. It all comes out of the same budgeted line item. More than that, the retainer agreement that was provided to the board is an hourly rate of $175 that we were able to negotiate with this firm. The current rate that we are getting is $200, is a little bit more than $200 per hour for the services that we get. That is not a knock on the two firms that we have or anything. It's just the reality that we are entitled to legal representation, and in considering doing this, we negotiated a price that will be beneficial to the residents of the Village of Dolton. Separate from that, this move here, a lot of people, some people say it's divisive. Of course, the board, we feel that, well, I feel it's time, and everybody asks us that we need to go about things different. We want to do something different. Well, we've seen in the past how meetings have gone into back and forth and arguing, and our board has tried as hard as we can to talk behind the scenes, to the frustration, I would say, to some residents, but we wanted to try to do things. We've had mediators come in to try to do it, and those ways have not been working. So we're seeking legal counsel at this time because we feel that the law has carved out who has authority to make which decisions, and we want to enforce the decisions that the board has access to. So that's what we want this council at this time. But having said that, if there are any further comments, hearing none, I'll ask Clerk Key if you can call the roll, please.
Sure. Trustee Steve?
Aye.
Trustee Norwood?
Aye.
Trustee Belcher?
Aye.
Trustee Holmes is absent. Trustee Brown?
Aye.
And Trustee House.
Aye.
We have 6 votes, 5 yeas, 1 absent. This has passed.
Okay, last but not least on our agenda, we do have public comments. We will be taking questions and comments from any resident that would like to speak or give their feelings on this matter or anything at this time. I will see what the court, I don't know how far the court will extend. I think we'll ask any resident that would like to make a comment. I'll stand on the side of Trustee Steve with the microphone, and if you would like to make your comments, please feel free to come one at a time if we may, just so we're not standing unnecessarily.
Good evening. My name is Jerian Harris.
What's your name?
I've been a resident of Dolton since August of 1978. And I've definitely seen the changes in Dolton. But tonight I came because I have a great concern regarding the landlord meeting. They had a landlord meeting. I came, and it was not discussed to increase the inspection, the yearly inspection, $85 a year. But then when they had their regular board meeting, the board passed that it will be increased to $200. And I don't think it's fair to the landlords to even pass this increase without discussing it with the landlord. So I'm here tonight to ask the board to please put it back on the agenda, bring it back, give the landlords opportunity to agree or not to agree. But $200, that's over 100% increase. And I do realize the cost of living, it goes up, but not 100% plus. So I'm asking the board, if you put it back on the agenda, bring it back up, because $200 is too much. I did confirm with Sharon Harris last night that it was going to be $200. I did confirm with Dolton Mayor that it was $200 it's going to be. And the mayor told me that $200 was nothing because she was a landlord. But I feel that we as landlords out here in Dolton, it is a lot to us. And we don't mind paying an increase, but not 100+ increase. So,
Thank you very much for sharing. Trustee Norwood, you have a response? If you have something, this is open forum.
I think that's part of why. So I personally didn't see that come across past the board. And actually, I'm glad you stated that because that's part of the reason why we're here today. Because things aren't being ran across the board. That's why we have a legal counsel also, so that we can get the proper committees, so that we can handle it the appropriate way, so that we can be transparent, and when we make decisions regarding housing, speak with the residents and make a decision. So just so you know, we didn't personally vote. The board of trustees, we didn't vote.
you voted.
Yeah, we did.
Yes, you did vote.
Wait a minute. It was voted, but there was no amount attached to that vote.
That's what it was. I was going to say,
It was
that's what
voted.
it was.
There was no amount.
Yes. So, because I was going to say, I didn't vote on $200
No.
increase.
No.
That's at the time, yeah.
Well, it's going to be, the inspection now is going to be $200 inspection.
Okay.
Can I get your name again?
Yeah, and what we'll do is I'll sponsor.
J-E-R-R-I-A-N-N Harris.
Thank you. So we're going to sponsor it and we'll bring it back across the board for you.
I really
Okay,
appreciate
so we'll
it.
take care of it.
And also, the inspection, where does this money go to? The fees for inspection, where does this money go to?
The inspection fees go into the general fund.
Okay, and how did you separate with the general fund? Because they also told me that license where we have to register our animals, $15 each animal. They said that goes in the general fund. So where does this money go?
So in the general fund, they do have to track by section what different fees have been accounted for. So when we have our we've had one monthly report that we've aired since the change of administration. So as we resume it, you will get a financial report, and the financial reports are all posted online as well. And then it'll give you an itemized list of how much of each one of the residents' revenue streams have been collected within the general fund.
Okay, and one more. Who's gonna pay for, I believe it was 3 or 4 weeks of the barricades on the mayor's block? Who's responsible for that? The residents have to pay for that, or who's gonna pay for it?
At this moment, there's been no mention to the board in terms of the plan for the security detail and how it's going. There's only one of two things that would have occurred. One would be a private firm was retained without the approval of the board, and it will come up for the board, and I will not vote to pay a private firm that never was initially approved by the board. The second option would be that the mayor has instructed the police department to give additional, place one of the officers that would normally be on the street in front of their house, in which case that individual will be paying through their payroll, their salary, and if they were requested to do overtime specifically for this, then they'll get paid time and a half, in which case the taxpayers and the residents pay for that.
So that's why our taxes is gonna go up too.
The comment was that's why our taxes are going to go up. We are fighting hard to make sure that the taxes do not go up.
Huh?
We will be fighting hard to make sure that our taxes do not increase.
So that means that money could go to service something else in Dolton instead of protecting the whole block.
Yes, ma'am.
And you guys allow it.
Comment from the board. So the comment is that the board allows it, and I will disagree with that. We allow it. When we're notified, we act on it, and anything that's within the board's authority, we do not approve. We vote down. Now, I think you may have seen at the other board meeting, the mayor said, "You can approve it or not. I'm going to do it anyway," and that's the reason that we have our legal attorney here to advise and instruct us on what remedies the board can have to prevent that.
You know, I believe the last mayor and the board, the board voted to take some of the privileges from the former mayor, and it was approved, it was okay. So what's the difference with this mayor? You guys can't do that?
That's all we have.
With that. Anybody want to answer?
So I'm so happy you came up here because that's why we're here. Even because you see when you stated about the $200, I'm like, I didn't vote for $200. So what's been happening is the amount wasn't displayed. So that's why the board is here saying, hey, we want transparency. We're okay with some of the decisions you may make if you talk to us or maybe bring it to us so that we can all figure it out together as opposed to leaving us blindsided like now and me saying, we increased it? I didn't know that. So that's why we're here and that's why we have legal representation because that's where this is headed. We're trying to have a voice and Mr. McGrath is going to now be our voice to, like you stated, to defend the residents and to kind of stop some of the spending.
Well, congratulations to the board. I wish you good luck. I hope that you keep unity. I know you have unity with 5 of you guys, and the other one, I don't know. So you need to get him to get on board too, because you guys were voted in. And you were voted by the residents. They had faith in you that you guys would take care of the business and to do what's best for Dolton and Dolton residents. And the mayor cannot do anything to the trustees because you guys were voted in. So I just wish you guys good luck. Have a good 4 years.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming, and I'm certain you will continue to hold us accountable.
Oh, yes.
Okay, I think next up I have Trustee Stubbs.
Good evening, everyone. Trustees, Madam Clerk, Attorney, I could just cry because I'm so glad to see you. Really. Just to piggyback on that young lady right there. It was either June or July 22nd that the mayor stated that she would not do an increase on the landlords as far as the fees and the permits would not go up. And it's unfortunately that they didn't have the figures when you all voted. Can you please, please, please take another look? Our tax bills just came out. My taxes are now, I hope all of you all are sitting down, and I only have a 4 unit, and mind you, I live in one of the units. So I'm only collecting rent for 3 other units. My taxes are $19,123 to live in Dolton, while the police presence, I see it here protecting the mayor, but I don't see it on my block or on other blocks, and that's unfortunate, and we have to pick up the bill. Not only do she have it at her house, but you go to South Suburban College, where she have Good Burger. She have security on her there also. And I don't know if you could ask the chief, how do he assimilate who go where to protect her in addition to her bulletproof vest. And I'm just going to keep it real with you guys, and I've talked to all of you all. You know, what she's doing is worse than Riley Rogers have ever done. He looked like a Sunday school teacher compared to what she's doing to us. The lockouts, she have locked us out. The residents, and we have to sit out here, but we can come to her meeting yesterday, and these are mandatory meetings that I've never heard of in my 63 years of living, that I have to come to a mandatory landlord meeting. I have to come to a mandatory residence meeting, and I've never heard of such things in my life. And I'm asking you guys, and I'm praying for you every day. Once you establish what you need to establish, can you please bring back citizens' address? because that's taking our First Amendment from us. And you all look, I'm just going to say the word, no offense, but you look stupid sitting up there while the residents are asking questions and nobody is answering the questions. Can you please bring that back? Can you take another look at that budget also? All she has been doing, the mayor, Tiffany Henyard, that's really hard for me to say that. She's having parties, and this is the Tiffany show. The young men that got locked up yesterday, that was deplorable because they have a right to assemble. They have a right to freedom of speech. And one of your police officers, and I'm going to call him by his name, Lacey, stopped me on the street as I was walking because I couldn't park in here, I couldn't park in there, because you're using our resources, our fire department, our police department, to barricade the Tiffany show. And Lacey approached me and asked me for ID and what was I doing until I took my mask off and he saw it was me. And that's unfortunate that any resident have to be treated like a common criminal in the village of Dolton where their taxes are sky high. Also, I'm looking for you all to do, because it's costing the taxpayers money, please look into, along with your attorney, please look into all of the pending cases, because these guys that she have working for her, that's supposed to be working for all of us, they're not. And they're just making their pocket fat. Okay? So please, please look into all of those for me, please. I'm not going to hog the mic, because I could go on and on and on about how the residents of Dolton have been treated since she have been in office. And I have reached out to all of you all, including her, and she told me that, Stubbs, you know I don't talk to you. I'm a 21-year-old resident. You should be talking to me. And I thought that was a slap in the face. Just because I didn't vote for you, I still give you your respect as the mayor. And I deserve the same as a resident. But I thank you all, and I thank you all for coming out today too. And God bless Dolton.
Thank you very much for those comments. I think I saw hands at Mrs. Bruno. You good? Any further comment or question? I have one additional.
Hi, John Kraft. I'm not a resident. Thank the trustees and the clerk for showing up tonight, doing what they should be doing. I think you know that the mayor has no authority to cancel a meeting that you call. And I suggest you with your attorney draft up new ordinances. Number one, that each trustee is issued a key or a key card to the building, and that the ordinance state that when trustee meetings are called, they shall be held in the regular meeting place, no matter if the mayor wants it there or not. It's ridiculous. And I hope the people that were arrested last night get a good lawyer and have some fat change put in their pocket, because they deserve it. To be arrested for standing there protesting something is ridiculous. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your comments.
I don't think I really need the mic. Good evening, everyone.
Yeah. Okay. She does. Come on over.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening, board. I have a question about Flock. When you all were having the meeting, thank God for modern technology, I was able to Google this company. And the first thing that came up was the Better Business Bureau. And they are not accredited. They have no information on them, no nothing. What are you all going to do about that? Because we don't know anything about these people. You can't go and do, or did you all get some background on them and you know about the other people that they have serviced? Was it okay?
It was presented about 2 months ago.
I remember the presentation, but when I looked them up, they have no references to go by. That's the problem.
So, it was another municipality.
So when it first did come about, Flock is the name of the cameras, not the actual service. But when we got the packet, they did do a presentation for us. They are in New Jersey. Harvey has some. It's about 8 different places. So I am going to say I did my due diligence to look it up. But Flock is just a metaphoric name for the cameras. But the actual company is something. It's not Flock. It's do you have a copy of the? I don't have. But we looked at it. We did look at. It's like a third-party company. But we did. Well, I would say I did research it, and then when I contacted the chief about it also, and so it was like a couple of recommendations before we actually made. Well, I made the decision to vote for it. But I would say, based on what information that was given to us and the crime that we do have, I think that it will be beneficial for the community. And I base my vote on making sure that we get adequate services that we need in addition to, since we do have a lack of police because they're sitting on Dobson Street. so I will say that I did my due diligence to say. Are they driving her to South Suburban College, or does she have the car to take to South Suburban College?
Repeat the question one more time.
Is she being driven to South Suburban College daily with daily security, or is she driving herself in a vehicle, a Dolton vehicle, and not doing Dolton work? Oh, one more question. How much are we paying to rent the space for the Dolton free grocery store / food pantry?
I just found out that on Facebook.
What?
Oh, okay.
It's a food pantry right there.
Here we go.
It's Dolton free. It's supposed to be Dolton free, grocery store. And it is, when she took the pictures, I'll share them with you. She took pictures with Troy, who is now the director at the Greater Chicago Food Depository. So when I looked at the pictures, and you can see the reflections in the glass, I saw it was the mall over there, because I saw the blue building right here across the street. So there is a free grocery store, the Dolton grocery store, over there somewhere. When did you all approve that? Who's paying the rent on it? Is it free?
Okay. So I'm actually happy that you asked all of those
Y'all didn't know
questions. And again, right? This is why we're here, ma'am. This is why.
Trustee Smith, how you doing?
Trustee Smith. This is why we're here, Trustee Smith. Because we don't really know much until the warrant list comes out. And that's why when we say to the residents, we're like, hey, we're trying to bring legal representation so that someone can stop some of the lack of transparency here. Because a lot of times with the board, we find out when you all do, or you all find out first, like now.
Are you all adding things to the agenda, or is it strictly the mayor?
Many items have been added, have been the mayor's. There have been maybe 4 or 5 that the trustees have added, and 1 or 2 that the trustees have attempted to add it, and the mayor has removed. Am I saying that right, Trustee Steve? Not calling anybody out?
Yep.
So, okay, I think it was when I sat on the board that we did this very thing to Riley, and it should we voted on it, so he would not be able to just do whatever he wanted to do, because you're actually working for us. So shouldn't that still, attorney, hi, how are you? If we voted on that years ago and it has not been amended, it should still be in effect. And that's it right there.
Yeah, so, and there's 2 parts of what's going on. So to your point, we've researched that. Our clerk has done a great job. Every time we look for an ordinance, she gets it to us quickly. And Clerk Key has found the very ordinance that Trustee Smith voted on. But in all seriousness, that's again why we're here. There's the passing of the ordinance and there's implementation. And up until this moment, we didn't feel that we had the tools needed, so that's why we have an attorney now to seek legal remedies when those things are not being followed.
One last question. The entire board is here. Where is Trustee Andrew Holmes?
Stop being petty. That's my part right now.
Trustee Holmes, the mayor, and all board members were given the same notice and included on the same emails as everybody else, and they make their own decisions on appearance or not appearance.
Thank you. You all have a blessed night. Thank you.
Any further comments or questions? Yeah. Mr. White?
It don't matter, I can get it to you anyway. What you say, Steve? You know, I don't care about that. I just name, rank, serial number, everything. I have been a resident for 40 years. And I have sat here through many administrations. Again, I commend this board that's sitting here, that you all are stepping up to the plate, and y'all want answers just like we as taxpayer residents want answers. But I posted something on the village website because as a 40-year resident, and I deal with crime on my block on a regular basis, so I want to know where in the municipality codes for the village of Dolton and ordinances does it state that a city mayor, elected official, can have their street blocked off on both ends, and police that we are paying their salary for tying them up to guard a house and to transport them to their workplace? Because if she, as a sitting official, can do that, then I need 2 police officers in the valley stationed at one end of the block to protect me, because I'm in danger every day that I walk out my house. I know that she's not in danger. I know that there's been no threat that has warranted the street blocked off, because the last time I checked, and I'm 65 years of age and I've been a resident for 40 years in Dolton, that the President of the United States does not live in Dolton, and the President of the United States only have their homes blocked off for national security. So I want to know what national security issue there is in the village of Dolton that warrants this sitting mayor to have her street blocked off. Secondly, I am in agreement that, as I have been here for 40 years and I've watched the other trustees strip a mayor of their power when they are not doing what they're supposed to do. So unfortunately, because we hate to see things done like that, but you all are going to have to do some drastic measures in order for the things that, can I say this, you all ran on a ticket of transparency, communication, wanting to bring Dolton into a new change. Well, the only changes that I have seen has been personal changes for somebody that's in leadership, and it's not been for the better of this village. To shut me, I'm speaking for me right now, to shut me as a taxpayer citizen out of this building that I pay taxes for, because it does not belong to the mayor, and just like it does not belong to the trustees, but it belongs to me as a resident and a taxpayer, and to shut me out and not be able to come to a board meeting, I take offense to that. I should not be sitting in a parking lot for me, because that's what this building is for. It is for me as a taxpayer, as a resident, to come into this building for a public hearing meeting, whether it's the monthly board meeting or special meetings that are being called, but it is not to come into this parking lot, so I take offense of that. And I know it's not you all's doing, so I'm speaking to the person that I'm taking offense with. But I commend you all because you all are stepping up to the plate. You all were serious about what you ran on, transparency, communication, honesty, and integrity. And so, again, I commend you, but I do want to know where in the village ordinances and municipality codes that it warrants the mayor's street blocked off and police officers being tied up when they could be out serving the community and not being watchdogs and being paid a hefty salary. Because I can sit in my car and go guard somebody's house. So that's my question, and hopefully somebody will give me an answer to it.
I would say, and from my perspective, it is not in the municipal code, so I don't think that that's a valid action that's being taken at the time.
So being very legal for what they do.
I will defer to the attorneys, and we have hired an attorney to
Is that
decide.
illegal, what they're doing? Because if it's so, then tomorrow morning I'll be calling my representation from the Attorney General's office. Because if that's illegal, then I want to stop too.
And I would say, Dennis White, he's been hired for 5 minutes.
We have to give two.
So you should contact the Attorney General's office.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, the answer was it's not authorized, so you should contact the Attorney General's office. Okay. Saying any additional questions? Okay. The question is, are other village halls open for meetings? Most are. I won't go out on a limb and say all are, but many other municipalities are open for meetings.
I feel like we have been silent. A lot of senior citizens, they don't know about computers and emailing. I think that is so disrespectful and so wrong. And just like I came to this meeting, I'm disabled now. I had to go back home and get a chair. When she had her meeting, everybody was inside that building. And I don't think that's fair. I should have a seat in that building also.
So just for public, the statement being, it's a disrespect to the residents to have meetings conveniently inside when the mayor wants to, and when she does not have that, and it's the wrong thing. I would say I believe everybody on the board would agree with that sentiment, and we're working to make the proper changes. Okay. Trustee Steve has a comment.
You got a question? I just want to say thank everyone for coming out today, and I commend my fellow trustees for us uniting and doing this together. We all communicate, we all talk. There's not one leader among us. They try to think there's one, oh, go to Jason, maybe Jason can get them together, or go to Ed, or go to Kiana. We have disagreements, and we work it out, we talk to each other. But I have to say, it's disappointing to be here because I didn't see this happening like this. We've seen this for years. It's amazing how you complain about something and become the very person you complain about. So for years, this mayor complained about a mayor being a dictator and doing this every meeting, and then turn around and become the same thing, even worse, times 10. So it's just disappointing that we're here, and I don't know what happens. Me and the guy was talking. I don't know what happens when somebody gets in that position and that power just takes them to a place that you don't even recognize them no more. Or maybe that's who they really were. So it's disappointing, but I'm glad that we're here, we're united, and we're working together for the empowerment and the betterment of the town. Because we all live here, we all pay these high taxes. We just got our last tax bill, so they're all going up. So we're working together to improve our power. I never want to make it personal. This is not personal towards the mayor. This is about what's right and what's wrong for the town. And that's where I want to leave it at, because when it becomes personal, then in the midst of that, you don't know who's who. And they look at the whole board and the mayor like they're crazy. And we witnessed that for years. So I'm just saying that to say that I'm glad we're here. I'm glad we're coming together. I'm glad the clerk's here. And we're going to work together to improve this town. And we're going to, if you know, a lot of times I think people have been frustrated with us and say, what's taking y'all so long? Get your attorney. Take her power. Do this. And people told us before we got sworn in. Before they got sworn in, to do it. And what we all said, we want to give her a chance. We want to try to give her, because I think she deserved a chance. But now we've done. Damn. Okay. So we're gonna move forward, but that's where we're at. That's where we're at, and we're going to continue to grow and move this town forward. And by the grace of God, we're gonna keep together and keep on working. Thank you.
Okay. Come on, sis.
And I very hope that you be real respectful because I'm not that character. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, good evening, everybody. I'm Cindy Brown. I purchased my house. Okay, excuse me, I have the floor. You can chill.
Resident, just ask the question. We'll continue. Just ask the question.
Hello again. Good evening, everyone. We want to, if you all could just ignore that for a moment till I finish my question. I had to cover up my bags and stuff because I'm on my way to work.
It's over with around here. Go ahead. Ask your question, right. Go ahead. It's over with. You fucked up the water, get along.
Okay. I've had my home for 7 months. I just moved to Dolton. I was actually excited. As of now, seeing the person that's the head of Dolton, it's a shame. My question was in regards to infrastructure. What is being done about that? My block flooded when it rained a couple of months ago. The water, you couldn't drive through it. My parents were actually at my house helping set my house up for me. I was at work. I just happened to check my cameras and was like, oh, it's a river. I made a phone call to a couple of trustees. They did come out. They did get to see how bad the water was. It was extremely bad. I have it on video. And I just wanted to know what's going on for infrastructure. The cameras are nice. The new lights for the street lights are nice. However, we have deeper issues, especially when it comes to flood. Because that can damage homes and people can't get to their houses, or you have to walk through flooded water to get in your home. So my question is, what's being done for infrastructure?
If we can, we'll address that offline. And we're going to conclude this meeting cordially. And so I'm going to make a motion that we dismiss.
Second.
Motion and second. Clerk Keel, that's a roll call.
Trustee Steve. Trustee Norwood. Trustee Belcher. Trustee Holmes is absent. Trustee Brown. Trustee House. The meeting is adjourned at 5:50 p.m. 6:50.
Why you ain't stopped? Why you ain't
6:50
stopped?
p.m.
You seen your water bill for the last 4 years? That's what you should stop. You should stop paying. That ain't enough. That ain't enough. Oh man, Grandma, I'm not here to talk to you. I don't mean to keep saying okay. But at the end of the day, this is for him. This is for him. This is for him. This is for him. This is him.